Good morning. Welcome back to YouTube channel Excel Snippet, our Excel Beginners Training Series, video number 8. In this particular topic, we are about to deal with how to enter data in Excel and how to edit them. Now, if I want to enter data, there are multiple ways that I can do it. In the earlier days or in the mid 80s or mid 90s, people have to feed most of the data. Nowadays, there is a lot of data are already fed by people, and you have to just import those data into our system. So there will be two way of getting the data done or entering the data can be done. One is we will either manually feed them or we will download it from uh, resource and we can import that into Excel. So importing of Excel we will see a little later. I'm about to see the manual way of entering data. So when I deal with manual way of entering data, we will see how to create a template. For example, if I want to create an attendance sheet or maybe a student list or maybe people who are attending a corporate training and so on. So I need to keep an attendance sheet for them. So if I want to do that, then how do I deal with that in the list? So we're about to see that. So now I don't have any extra sheets to add, so I'm going to add a new sheet. To add a new sheet, I can either use a mouse button to click the plus next to my sheet 1, or I can just press Shift F11 to add a brand new sheet. But when I add a Shift F11 to my Excel sheet, I will get a sheet before my active sheet. So it won't come after my active sheet, it will come before my active sheet. So I'm going to move the sheet to the right of my list and I'm going to rename them now as entering a data. So now I'm going to make the screen a little larger than normal. To do that, I can use the bottom part of our screen where I can zoom the screen to the next level by 10, 20, 30, and so on until 400 percentage. And or else I can just say that I just want a specific list here. So I can even do that by going to the View tab and zoom the screen until 200 percentage, or I can customize my zooming to the percentage that I'm looking for. So now I'm going to add a data here. I'm going to type data. So when I type, sometimes my data may not be perfect. So I'll be typing in a multiple dimension here. It will not be one kind of data structure here. We may not have a proper data set or data which is uppercase or all lowercase. So we might get a data here and there or in a different point altogether. To convert them into a normality, I'm about to use the following function called labeling function. So I named it, or these functions are available under text functionality in the formula bar. So I'm going to use proper, upper. I've already used a particular data point here. I've just typed a template headers here. I can type anything that I want here. So I can even type, for example, serial number, employee name, and I can say time in and time out. So when I type this data, sometimes my data may not be fully visualized yet. So when I go down to my list here, on the top of the screen, you can see employee name comes in the formula bar, but I can see the employee here, not the name here. So I want to expand these data according to the data width here. I can do that with ease. To do that, I'm going to use a keyboard shortcut, or I'm going to use this function called column autofit. So to do a column autofit, I'm going to use the keyboard shortcut Alt OCA, and this belongs to 2003 version. I can do the same keyboard shortcut either by using the current version here. So I'm using Office 365 here. So in Office 365, the keyboard shortcut will be a little different. So to bring back or call for the keyboard shortcuts, so I can just, I don't want to remember all the keyboard shortcuts here. I can just type the Alt button first, and then it pops up the shortcuts for the menu. Then I'm going to give an H. It will take me the home. I'm going to format. I'm going to say O. Then when I give an I, it will automatically expand my column. So the form will be Alt H O I will be the keyboard shortcut. I think even in our 2007 version to this version, so I'm about to use this as a base. So let's see how to do that. So this is how we do the column out of it. You can do the row out of it also. So if you want to do a row out of it here, then I'm going to use a keyboard shortcut here called Alt ORA according to the 2003 functionality. Here it might be a little different. So the first two functionality remain same. Instead of I, will be something else. We have saw a big drop down here. Let me just see what is that. So it's going to be Alt A. So it's going to be Alt HOA. So instead of Alt ORA, it is Alt HOA. The keyboard shortcut varies for each and every component. Now I want to select a particular data or a particular column or a row. Then I can just come back here. If the data is continuous, I can just use the following shortcut called Shift Control Arrow Right. And now I can give Alt OCA. So now you can see that the data is automatically adjusted. If I do it for the subsequent lines here, I'm going to use Alt HOI. So it still works for me, but again, you can see that my top data have adjusted because my bottom data have a larger text than normality. To select a particular row or column, I used Control Shift and arrow mark. So the arrows can be used accordingly. I will either use arrow right or arrow left, arrow up or down based on my selections. So based on that, the entire data works for us. This is how we do enter our data. This is a very normal header creation part for us. You can enter a serial number, you can enter a set of dates, time, a lot of things can be entered manually or with the following options. So now I wish to change my data, or I'm going to correct my data to a proper point. And now I want to add a space in the serial number, and I want to add a space for the timeout. To do that, I'm going to just place the cursor in my list. I'm going to press F2. That edits my cell, and then I can just manually do that. And I'm going to do the same even here. So now I wish to do a change here. So now we can see that on top, my data are not proper. So this is where I'm going to use the following three label functionalities: proper, upper, and lower. So let me add some space below. So to add a space here, I have to select. I cannot do a complete row here or a column here. I want to give a selected cell to be moved downwards. So I'm going to just select a few list. I'm selecting manually. I'm not using a Control Shift arrow right here because all the spaces are blank. I've selected the field here. I'm going to just press Control plus and then Control plus. If I want to do this functionality again, so I'm going to just say Control plus once. Then I have a keyboard shortcut here called F4. F4 allows you to do what is the last function that you do. So if you are finished with one particular actions, if you want to repeat the same action, then you can press F4. It can be done for any point, but it will only do one function. If I'm expanding a particular cell, if I use multi keyboard shortcuts, then the last active keyboards shortcut will be remembered. That will be the repeated action will be there. So that's the last action I can do. For example, now I'm just trying to add a bold, underline, and italics. I used Control B for bold and then Control U for underline and then Control I for italics. So now the system understands the last keyboard shortcut. So if I press F4 right now, probably I can get an italics in all the other field, not the bold and underline field. That's what this F4 can do for us. So this is the regular uses of our keyboard shortcuts where I can save a little more time. What I do is repetition of the same action can be done for any formulas, any rows and any columns. It still works very well. Now I'm going to use the three basic functions: proper, upper and lower. Sometimes we know there is a formula available there, but we never know what is the formula can do for us. If you want to know what the formula can do for us, you can just type the first few letters of the formula, as you always do, and then I'll hit a tab. You can see automatically it gives you the whole formula. If you want to know what this formula can do for us, you don't know what this formula can do for us, then I can just press a Control A here, which gives you a small box here, and it says this is the function arguments rather. In this function arguments, you can understand what this formula can do for us. Sometimes our formulas can be a little bit complicated. We may not even understand what the formula can do for us, but here it says the text is enclosed in a quotation mark, the formula that writes the text or the references to the cell that contains the list here. This is the text box that does this. If you closely watch below, it says converts the text string to a proper case, the first letter of each word to the upper cases and all the other letters to the lower cases. So it's going to only pop up or it's going to convert the first letter of each word to a brand new capital letters. The rest of them will be small for us. So I'm going to just close this. This is what I did. I'm going to just select these cells because these are the cells. It's blank. I'm going to give a proper tab, place the cursor on top, and either I can press an enter. When I press an enter, it gives you the answer for the first line. But I want to populate all these selected cells with a formula here to populate from the C cell to the G cell or C5 to G5. I'll press Control Enter. That populates all my data. And you can see that the first letter of each word is capital, the rest of them are small. And you can immediately figure out that other two formulas what it can do. It's going to convert all my data into an uppercase. It's going to convert all my data into a lowercase. So I'm going to just come down here. I'm going to say equals UP, and then you can see that. I'm going to just select the top portion. I'm just giving an enter. I don't give a control enter because I can select the data. Then I'm going to populate this particular formula to the rows. To populate anything on the row, even if it's a formula or anything like that, I can use a Control R button to do that. Now I want to convert all of them into the lower point. I'm going to say equals LOW, tab, select the first cell on top, enter, and I can just select all the other cells, Control R. Now you can see that the data are populated one below the other in the defined format as stated according to the formula. Proper, upper, and lower. So these are the three formulas that we have learned today. I just made an enter. I've just altered the data according to my list. Now I'm altering the data not by editing a cell. Instead, I'm just changing the pattern at which the data looks like. Remember, these formulas are dependent on this particular line item. If anything happens to this line, the entire formula has no use. You can see the formulas are living, but unfortunately, these formulas have no effects in it. So if I delete this man by mistake, you won't see anything in here. So you have to have a data there. But I wish to keep all these formulas output perfectly. And even if anything happens to the top or a dependent cell, I can do that by converting the formulas into value. To convert the formulas into value, I'm going to use a keyboard shortcut called Control C, which is a copy of the data. Then generally we use Control V to paste it and Control X to cut it. But I'm going to use a different point here called paste special. To create a space special option, I'm going to use keyboard shortcut Alt ES. And then I'm going to use the V to convert the formulas into value. I'm going to press enter once. So now we have learned a lot of keyboard shortcuts here. So remembering all of them will be a little tougher, but again, by practice you can do all of them readily. So now I want to select the C5 to G7. So I'm going to give Shift Control arrow down, arrow right. It selects the whole data for me. Now I'm going to copy this, Control C, and I'm going to use paste special keyboard shortcut to achieve it. So Alt ES will take you to the paste special options, and I can press a V here. It takes to the values. When I give an enter, all my formulas are converted into value. Now if I do anything to my data, nothing happens to my output because this is not dependent anymore. If it is a dependent cell, probably you would have seen a blank space as I showed you earlier. So this is how we do enter and edit the data. So let me do a small videos in here so we can learn this part, the partial basis, so that it will be better for us to understand it better. I can give you two more functionalities in here, but again it will be way too much for us to absorb. So I just finish this particular video series with this video. In this one we will be seeing part 2 and part 3 of entering and editing a data, with how to add a serial number, how to add adopt numbers. We can see all of them by using the autofill series and fill series and so on. So hope you enjoyed this video. So I'll be adding further more videos, at least 3 or 4 more by today. Probably we'll be getting 3 more videos here. So we are only halfway through now enter and editing of data. I just did probably video 8 part 1. I wish to do the part 2 sooner, so I'll be adding that at the earliest possible. Hope you enjoy my video. This is Vinod signing out from Excel Snippet, our YouTube channel. This is an Excel beginner series 1.0.